Paulie, last time we had you on the show, one of the fights that we discussed with you was the upcoming Manny Pacquiao versus Cotto fight. You had picked Cotto by KO. What are your thoughts on that fight?
I believe I've given my thoughts on that. I've caught some slack. I really could care less, man, what people are saying, what people are doing. Listen, man, I'm an athlete. I think all athletes understand what's going on. I'm tired of these geeks who never played a sport in their life, so they have no really reality check. You know, there's no way to really, if you've been a geek your whole life and you've been writing in books your whole life, well, not that there's anything wrong with that, but then you're going to go judging athletes on accomplishments. You really can't judge it to that effect. You know, you really can't judge what's realistically possible for a human being and what's not. You know, we're all athletes. I believe you speak to most athletes, even if they don't come forward with it and admit it in the media. I've never had a problem speaking my mind to the media, but there's no possible way Manny Pacquiao is doing everything naturally. It's my opinion. Obviously, I don't have facts for it. It's my opinion. So, I'm not going to tell you, these facts say it. No, there's facts that lead you to believe that he's doing something illegal, but there's no positive drug test. But then again, there's plenty of steroids that aren't legal, that aren't visible in drug tests. You know what I mean? Let's get real, man. The Tour de France changed the drug testing policies. You know what I'm saying? You don't even have to test positive for steroids in the Tour de France. They have such complicated testing now in the Tour de France that if your blood levels are such and such, or your hemoglobins are such and such, it's so complicated, I don't even know what they're doing. But exactly what I'm saying is, they have ways of basically testing your blood. You don't have to test positive for steroids anymore because the steroids that they know are undetectable. So they'll test your blood, and if the levels of your blood are different or whatnot, you just suspend it because they know you're taking something. We don't have anywhere near that in boxing. We'll never have anywhere near that in boxing because nobody cares about boxing. And the people in boxing don't want to mess a good thing up. And in their mind, the good thing is Manny Pacquiao winning all these fights and looking good for boxing and being a good ambassador for the sport and the world and all that. So you know what, man? I'm not going to sit here and keep speaking my mind, man, because all I get is flack for it, man. You know what? Maybe one day, and I'm not even guaranteeing it, but maybe one day this will all come out. And when it comes out, I don't want to hear anybody calling me or saying, oh, man, Paul, you called it, or Paul, you were saying this. I could care less, man. And that's one of the reasons I really care less about this thing in boxing, man.
Yeah, no, Paulie, you were just talking about that. It's a rumor that's been going around for a while that was started by Floyd Mayweather Sr. Do you honestly believe that Manny Pacquiao is taking substances that are not natural?
Yeah, in my opinion, he is, yeah. In my opinion, he is. This is a guy that was life and death with Juan Manuel Marquez, 122 pounds and 130 pounds. He was life and death with Agapito Sanchez. He's been knocked out. All this, such and such. All of a sudden, he goes up. From the David Diaz fight, you see a monster change in Manny Pacquiao. Since the David Diaz fight, he's gone up in weight and knocked out all four opponents. Not just knocked out all four opponents, destroyed all four opponents. And some of those opponents were world-class level fighters. So, if he was doing this even at the lower weight classes, if he was doing this even more at the lower weight classes, like, say, the Eric Morales fight, there's a guy that boxed by Eric Morales, guys, let's not forget, that was only like 3 years ago. If he was doing this at these other weight classes, I'd say, okay. But this is a guy that was really good at his own weight classes, but still struggled against certain fighters. All of a sudden, he's going up in weight, destroying monsters. And that's just the boxing end of it. This is a guy that fought 130 pounds in 2008 in March of 08. And November 14, 2009, he fought 147 pounds. You tell me his body looks exactly the same. He put on that much muscle mass, eating 7,000 calories a day. That's what I mean about these geeks. They're going to go and judge stuff. These geeks don't eat 7,000 calories a day and then work out. Go try it. There's no way you're going to maintain your waistline that little, no matter how hard you work. If you're working that hard, guess what? You're overtraining. But the only way you don't overtrain is, guess what? You have to take PEDs, performance-enhancing drugs, to not overtrain to that extent if you're working that hard. Regardless, one way or another, all routes lead to the same conclusion. All routes lead to the same conclusion. I'll say it again. There's not positive drug tests, but like I said, there's plenty of ways to beat those positive drug tests. Again, this is my opinion, but I'm basing it on all of those facts. Okay? If you use your head. If you use your head, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's basically an observation. Just observe what I'm talking about. You don't have to believe me, but just observe it. I'm telling the truth of all my observations, the facts. You know what I'm saying? Look at Juan Manuel Marquez. There's a guy that were life and death against each other. He moved up in weight. Why didn't he look like that? Why did his body look full of water and a little bloated? And that's what happens when a fighter moves up in weight too much. They follow a little bloated, a little overweight. They don't carry the muscle mass like that, especially in a year and a half. There's bodybuilders, 6'4", 6'5" guys that don't gain that much muscle mass in a year and a half. And they will tell you it is physically impossible to gain that much muscle mass in a year and a half, no matter how big you are. No matter how big you are. And these are guys 6'4", 6'5", which will be easier for them to gain a muscle mass, let alone this little midget that I've been getting flack for calling this little midget. That's what it is. He's been this little midget who's starting to cheat, in my opinion, and then he's getting all the credit. Listen, I'm tired of getting the slack for it, though, man. You know what I mean? I've been getting slack the whole time for it. So I'm going to say my opinion, but if this ever comes out, and it may never come out, I might get slack for the rest of my life. If this ever comes out, I don't want to hear nobody better call me and say, yo, Paulie, how'd you know? Nobody better ever call me.
All right. Well, Paulie, The way that Manny Pacquiao's going into the ring now, the way you feel that he's going into the ring now, how do you see that matchup going on March 13th against Floyd Mayweather Jr.?
It's a shame. I hate to say it, but he stopped Floyd Mayweather. I hate to say it because I think Floyd is the best fighter I've seen put on a pair of boxing gloves. But you can't beat Superman if you're human. You know what I mean? And they said they're gonna do this Olympic drug testing thing. They're gonna do all this thing now with Floyd Pacquiao. The Olympic drug testing is a little bit tighter than the regular drug testing. Before George is gonna record saying he'll let him taste his urine, he'll let him test his hair, but he won't let him take blood within 6 weeks of a fight. Listen, I've had my blood taken 2 weeks before fights, before a lot of fights, but they've just tested it for diseases. They don't test your blood for drugs. It's a problem that a fighter's blood is taken within 6 weeks before a fight. I've done it a million times. I had 30 pro fights. I've probably done it for half of them. All my blood tests were within 6 weeks of a fight. I've had blood tests as close as 2, 3 weeks before a fight. And it's never been a problem. It's never made me weak. It's never done anything. So if they have a problem getting Pacquiao's blood tested within 6 weeks before the fight, I think that's a little bit iffy, because now they know they're testing it for drugs. They're going to be testing it for diseases. So, that's a little bit iffy in my book, too. Again, just another one of the things you can tack on to the list of iffy things. Again, like I said, these are all my opinions, but I'm basically on these facts, and I believe I have some valid points.
Yeah, so what do you see in the fight that Manny Pacquiao's going to be able to do that's going to stop Mayweather? I mean, just on the pure punching power, or do you think it's
the punching power? It's Floyd can outbox him in spurts, but it's just too much coming, way too much. You know what I mean? Floyd can outbox him in spurts. It's just Pacquiao's constantly throwing punches. You're not going to make them all miss. You're not going to wear him down when you hit him because Cotto was tagging him lovely early in the fight, and if he walked through those, there's nothing you can do, man. You know what I mean? Like I said, if you're a human being, no matter how good you are, you can't be Superman. And that's the shame of it. I hate to say it, but that's the shame of it. We'll see what happens.